Welcome, everybody. I'm Kurt Roskoff, and you're here with Revolutionize Your Marketing. This is sponsored and created by Mill City Marketing MA, and you have host and creator John Petro Sr. here today. And Revolutionize Your Marketing is born out of the passion that John has for marketing and everything that is operating through the marketing company, Mill City Marketing MA. The intention here is John is an ambassador with Alignable. And so John meets a lot of people who work from home, running their small businesses, mid-sized companies or solopreneurs. And, John is here interested to help the little guy. But here at Revolutionize Your Marketing, we're going to be talking marketing stuff where a lot of it can translate into big corporate business, whatever it may be. So we're going to talk a little shop here. We're going to give you a little background on the show. And with that being said, I'm going to bring in our host of the show, the man of the hour, John Petro Sr. How you doing, John?
I'm doing good, Kurt, and thank you for uh, providing the platform that this podcast is on and live streaming it too. I know
Yeah,
you do
my
it for
pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, we're doing this work to grow the services and value made available by the YouTube channel, Mill City Marketing MA on YouTube. So yeah, I've got my system, and John got me connected into live streaming right into the Mill City Marketing MA channel. So happy to do that. A little partnership here, and story told is it all got started when John and I were helping a nonprofit organization, the founder of that doing podcasts with us, and then basically that, you know, kind of, lived its own, own journey, and it had its own story there. But through that, I had the check-in with John. John, how about now that you know how we do this podcast thing, how about you do the, live streaming and come in during this time, and he took me up on it. So now we got a live at 5 type thing here. 5 p.m. Eastern is our show time, and we take on guests here. So John, why don't you describe if we're reaching people where someone is like, wow, that sounds cool. I could be the third person on the screen. How do they do that, John? How do you work with people to consider if they might be a guest with us here in a future show?
all there's different ways you can get a hold of me if you're interested in being on the podcast. One of them would be shooting me an email at millcitymarketingma@gmail.com. Getting a hold of me on Alignable, opening up their platform and typing in my name, John Petro Sr. And the best way is to schedule a one-on-one with me, which I do before anybody comes on to my show. Get to know them and get to know what they're about, um, and talk a little bit about how it's going to be when you come on the podcast. To do that, simply type in Calendly, CANCANDA. I can't even think.
And Calen.
CALENDLY.com/Mill City Marketing MA. And that'll open up my calendar. Uh, little brain fart there for a minute. See what happens when you do things live, folks. But you can pick a time on my calendar and we'll spend half hour, 45 minutes getting to know each other. You want to check out my website? It's Mill City Business Help with one S at the end of business. .com. Pretty much everything is explained right in there. My calendar link is also in there. Again, that's Mill City Business with one S at the end, help.com. And like Kurt was saying, the way my podcast started out, I have to throw this little bit in, Kurt, because it brings it all to life. The person that I was jumping on the podcast with 3 weeks in a row decided she wasn't doing the podcast anymore and didn't bother telling him. So we kept it going. The third week, Kurt goes to me, goes, John, have you ever thought of doing a podcast? I said, well, I've been thinking about it. Why? He goes, good. You want to start now? My first podcast was 10 minutes after he asked me that question. And it's been happening every week since. Most of my guests that I have on come from a platform known as Alignable. There's a lot of experienced people on there. If you're a business owner um, and you don't know about Alignable, check it out. It's a great way to meet other businesses across the US and Canada. Um, Partner up with them, work on projects with them. I have a couple I'm working with. And it's great for referral from other businesses. Give you an example of that. Um, a, a doctor and an insurance company could hook up and refer partners back and forth. Um, Different combinations like that. Not so you guys could refer customers back and forth. Um, Being an ambassador, one of the things I do up here in my area, trying to bring local businesses together, I do an in-person networking once a month. Local businesses come to the meeting, meet face to face, talk, make connections. Every month I have a speaker from the group that wants to volunteer and talk about what they do and explain more about what they do. And I came up with a new concept that's catching on Alignable. Every couple of months, I bring somebody in to the in-person meeting, not in person, but on a Zoom call like we are here. And they do a little explaining about what they do, how to do things on Alignable. Uh, and it's gone over pretty good. It's very popular. Matter of fact, one of my first guests I had on coming in on the Zoom chat is now doing it in his alliance in Illinois. And he likes the idea of it. It brings more knowledge into the group. Um, like I said, if you're not on Alignable, you should be. There's over 3 million businesses on Alignable across the US and Canada. So there's plenty of businesses that you can meet. They have things that they call Smart Connects. It's an hour, and you get 7 minutes in the breakout room, one-on-one, to get to know the person, and then you can connect up with them afterwards, set up a one-on-one, and see if there's referrals that can be worked out or partnerships that can be worked out. And that's how Alignable does marketing. They make businesses, they don't make, they make it available for businesses to meet other businesses to work with and get referrals from. That's how I met up with Kurt. Kurt's somewhat active on Alignable if he's not doing podcasts. Right, Kurt?
Yeah, I've had so much come from Alignable and other things. We got a lot going with Spirit of the Game and Helpopedia and On the Mark TV and the Disability Channel and with Save Club and Inspire World. We got so many projects going that I have not got myself organized, to be aligned. I'm out of alignment, so it's hard to go dive into Alignable when you're not in alignment for it also. But I'm hoping with the weekend here, I can catch up on all my loose ends and get tracking and where I want to be on all my projects. Yeah, hopefully everybody out there will see me on Alignable pretty strong next week. It'll be a short week, for most all Alignable events, 4 days worth of Alignable events, but I hope to have my 4 days organized. To what you're saying there, I'll come back into my semi-active on Alignable. You got it.
Yeah. And another thing I want to mention to people out here too is um, there's a person that I had a podcast last Friday who is putting a lot of shows and programs together on Alignable and on radio the week of 9/11. She spent quite a few years in the military, and she was actually part of the search and recovery at 9/11. So this is kind of a personal thing for her. And she's looking for speakers throughout the week to talk about 9/11. If anyone is interested in that, get a hold of me. Gave out my contact information, um, and I will pass it on to her. She's looking to fill up a lot of time that week. And I see we have one of our friends coming in. Welcome, Mark.
Yeah, Mark is showcasing the Easy Way Los Angeles new location launch celebration ribbon cutting ceremony. So, yeah, that's with Eric Zuli and the whole Easy Way crew, Easy Way TV, and all the things. So, yeah, very exciting. We got events coming up there. So yeah, that'll springboard us, uh, reaching, higher heights, getting off to, grander things. So yeah, we're really excited about all the communities and all the networks and all the attention we're getting. So yeah, when we put it all together, we collectively reach over 350 million people. Jen, what do you think about that? And what is the reach of Lineable? What are the millions on Alignable that it's reach of?
A little over 3 million people or businesses across the US and Canada.
Yeah, so maybe there's some way to put that together. To say Alignable 3 million, we got 350 million. Maybe Alignable wants to join us, and we know how it's all about building relationships. So maybe we can
Yeah.
make that happen with a lot of people from our 350 million. Mark, what do you got?
I was with Tom Gay yesterday, and he's the guy that runs Alignable, and he wants to make me his affiliate link. So we're going to bring his 3 million into the 200 or 300 million people that I'm all connected to. So I'm signing up with him as an affiliate network, right along with Great Discovery and also Save Club.
Very good. So yeah, we're deep into the entrepreneurial reaches and networks. So pretty much what's happening is what everybody has been doing the last 5 years, being on all this virtual networking and everything. Won't be too much time down the road, and we'll be literally connected to every last person out there that's in entrepreneurial networking space. If they're networking online, we're connected to them. So we're not there yet, but that's where we're headed. Yeah, we're working with business people that are saying what we've got going here is we're on the verge of what we're doing collectively is um, is destined to be bigger than Facebook ever was. So the reaches that Mark Zuckerberg has, we're gonna mammoth what he's ever done.
Yeah. A
The
little bit
problem with
about
Mark. The problem with most of those social medias, and I'm not going to take over this meeting, but the problem with most of those social medias is they determine who you are. They cut you off. They have their favorites. They have their people that signed up and pay them, and they're influencers, and they favor them people just like YouTube does. With On the Mark TV, Easy Way TV, and all our connections, we are not like that. We share amongst all entrepreneurs and give everyone equal opportunities. We don't restrict people, we don't stop people, and we don't cut them off.
Yeah. I've actually had a little conversation with Mark myself about putting this podcast on TV. Yeah.
That would be a wonderful idea, sir.
I keep expanding my wings. I had a conversation this past week with a gentleman that has a radio station in New York City. Is looking to fill some empty spaces that he has. Yeah, and a little bit about what I do, folks, is I basically do ads on all social media platforms for businesses, as well as 30-second video commercials on live stream TV, like Disney Plus, Hulu, and all of Paramount. Do this podcast every Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern. And I got a couple of other things coming down the pipe for the market my business and make things available for my clients. And the type of clients I like to work with is the smaller businesses. Because basically in the business field, they're the ones that need the help the most to get their name out there and what they do. Uh, and a lot of them can't afford prices that most marketers charge for marketing. So I am willing to give back to small businesses and work with whatever they can afford. The more they can afford, the more I can help them with. And with just about 1,600 connections on the Alignable platform, if I get a business that needs help with something else besides what I can help them with, I guarantee I've got people I can connect them to.
How would you like to be on this channel? And by being on the Mark TV, you would be on this channel. So watch. You see what it says? Praise TV channel. But if you look at it, I'll show you something. See, it says On the Mark
Mark,
TV.
Mark, you have
Okay.
your virtual background on, so it's blocking what you're showing us.
My bad. Stop it. I know. Hold on. Guy thinks he's a techie. God damn it. Okay, so watch. So if you look, all right, see if you notice, all right, this is my net. When you click on here, I'll show you. Okay, so here's what happens. So this is me on Roku. Okay, so there's On the Mark TV. That's going to be changed to Global Streaming Network. But when I click on that, okay, it automatically takes you to my streaming and iVibe channel. Okay, you are now watching On the Mark TV. Okay. So what happens is, oh wait, hold on, let me go turn the volume on so you guys can hear it true. Okay, hold on. Okay, so if you notice, what happens is, see, it says, if you notice, it says right here, all right, it's On the Mark TV, but all of them are On the Mark TV. So when you're on my channel, you're on all these networks. Okay, that's why I reach so many people. So this is John right here. See, Praise TV channel. So we click on that one. It says spiritual, religious, great family programs. Play, Praise TV, and then here's Pastor James H. Miller Sr. See, and then you would be on that channel with that if you wanted to be, right? And if you wanted to be on, if you wanted to be on this channel called Real Family TV, you'd be on Real Family TV, okay? And that would show like this is old shows, right? All right. Oh, I know this show. Right. This is all like what we grew up with in the 60s, right? Okay. So you can be on old school TV, all right, or you can be on like you could be on with music videos or Main Street Television Network. Okay. See, different things. And then you make money because of the advertising. See, Pop World TV. This is like a VH1. See, I have all this. See, now playing Justin Bieber, right? So I'm a very up to date. And then you also have all these too. So what happens? All these other channels. But see, when they go to my library, see, they can pick all the old movies. They can pick thriller TV movies, sci-fi movies, comedy movies, Little Winnie's Playhouse, kids shows, Spider-Man, Steven Spielberg, all this stuff. All right. I even have in living color and all this other great things. See, I have all this. So it's not just a channel or a podcast or a YouTube. It's an entire gigantic network. Okay? You get it now? That's why I can reach 350 million people, because I'm on multiple networks. And those networks have been around for eons because of the person who built them.
And that, folks, is marketing at its best.
So I could take Alignable and there's 3 million people and make it and have those 3 million people be seen by 300 million people. Same thing I'm doing for Great Discovery, same thing I'm doing for Save Club. I just had a gentleman today came to me and he has a company called Employee. Damn, I keep forgetting the name of it. Employee, I don't know, purposes or whatever it is. It's some kind of insurance thing. But he's the guy who it's an MLM, but he owns it. So I can help him. And Bob Wade turned me on to that one. So that's it. I don't want to take over the meeting. I'm just sharing with you.
That's okay. We're just talking different ways of marketing.
Yes, good. But we're going to do MARCETING.
Yeah. By the way, Mark, I came up with a little song for my business too. Getting ready to have somebody put it together. I've got the sheet music, I've got the words, I've got the instruments. I just got to put it all together. It'll be like probably a 1 minute, 2 minute little audio. I can start playing that on the podcast. But I don't know where Kurt went. Kurt disappeared on us. So yeah, folks, there's all kinds of ways to do marketing for your businesses. Like I said, one of the best ways is if you're not on Alignable, get on Alignable, get referrals from other businesses across the country, find local events like I do, local in-person networking, meet local businesses and partner up with them. Since December, I've had 3 different partnerships that developed out of my in-person networking. It just that's a good if you want to get on.
No. There's a woman. She's brilliant. She's 65 years old and she's brilliant. But when you try to send her things, she keeps getting confused. And she's building she programs and builds like hundreds of networks. So her head is always spinning. And she's the godmother of streaming television. And she's my partner and she's brilliant. But when you try to keep things really simple, it's like she's you got to send it to her like 10 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a couple people like
She
that.
wants Jay Stoyan's number, so I gotta go. I'll come back. I gotta go take care of this. I'll come back.
All right. So yeah, if anybody wants any information about Alignable, my contact information again is I can be reached by email at millcitymarketingma@gmail.com. Find me on platform Alignable by typing in my name. Um, and my calendar link, if you want to talk to me on a Zoom call like this, is Calendly, Calendly. I keep messing that up even when I type it in sometimes. CALENDLY.com/Mill City Marketing MA. Those are ways to get a hold of me. If you want to be on the podcast, you can get a hold of me that way. Or you can get a hold of Kurt. And Kurt can,
Yes, so John, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna end the live stream and looking forward to seeing you next Friday at 5 p.m. We've got another guest coming into the studio that is planning on not being on live stream, so we're gonna end this and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
all right.